Alright guys, today I'm going to be showing you a tank guide for spell cleave groups. Um, I like to call it playing goalie. Today we're going to be looking at the Shadow Labyrinth dungeon specifically. This strategy can easily be transitioned into other dungeons like Shattered Halls, for example. I'm sure plenty of you are aware already of how strong spell cleave groups can actually be, but I had someone asking me a question like how do you play goalie efficiently as a tank, specifically a tank druid that definitely doesn't have as much AoE threat as a pally. But for this kind of strategy, you don't really need AoE threat. So what's going on is you're basically never going to get threat ever, period. Only in situations where you need it, like right here, the malicious instructor cannot be slowed, so the blizzard's uninfected. So if the mage gets aggro on Skull right here, he'll probably die. The rest of the mobs are all on the mage. So if you look at the mobs in front, I'm consistently targeting them, getting aggro on them, and that's where playing goalie comes into play. So you basically want to target the first mob in that group that's going towards your casters and bring them back into the group. You just want to keep it tidy. You're basically just cleaning it up. You're never gonna try to get aggro on everything because it's a lost cause. So right here, we're looking at the initial pull in Shadow Labs. I believe my healer dies here, but I'm gonna show you anyway to show you that it doesn't even really matter that he died. I believe we get a BR on him. So I gathered everything up. The mage starts blizzarding. The warlock Seeds of Corruption. And notice I'm not sitting in the mobs. That's because Frost Nova, when mobs are Frost Nova, they'll attack the closest target to them. The goal here is not to be tanking all the mobs. The goal here is to be grouping everything up and keeping everything tidy, keeping everything together so that your group can efficiently cleave everything down. So right here we have a mage, a warlock, and a boomkin. I like rolling boomkin. I like hurricane for these packs. I like the passive that they offer for the casters. This third slot, the boomkin, is interchangeable, with any other AoE class. So you can throw a fury warrior in there, you can throw an Ellie shaman in there, basically anything that's going to help make the group a little bit smoother as far as cleaving these down faster or bringing any sort of utility to help group them up a little bit. Think Earthbind Totem. But that's basically the goal. That's basically what you're trying to do here. A lot of common mistakes that people make. They think they need to tank the entire pack. They think they need to tank everything for a time there. It seemed like you would be able to and survive, when you're going into these normal dungeons with amazing gear. You kind of go on, autopilot, like, wow, whatever, I can tank it. This is a very efficient way of grinding rep, grinding XP at lower levels if you're leveling with a spell cleave group. I recommend it. I think that's still the most, I don't want to say efficient way to level, because I know people are, having some trouble with groups. So obviously if you're wiping, then, questing would obviously be better. But in a perfect world, if you could get a spell cleave group together, It'll work wonders for you as far as getting all your reputation, getting everything ready for when you hit max level to start banging those heroics out. And when you get into the heroics, it makes life a lot easier. It makes the dungeon faster. It makes the rep faster. It makes the whole experience a bit better. So the alternative group to this would be like a melee cleave group, but you're not going to get the same sort of benefit that you're getting from this. You're not going to be able to do as big of pulls, because what's going on here is you're basically just holding the mobs in place, slowing them down, rooting them, novaing them. They shouldn't be damaging anyone, other than the tank right here. You know, you have to pick up this mob and obviously the mobs that are in front, but the point is you shouldn't be taking that much damage at all as a tank. You know, in the initial pull right here, you know, you're gonna take a little bit of heat. You'll see healing aggro be an issue, which is why your mage really needs to be on top of the blizzard. Like the second that you get everything grouped up, mage should already start blizzarding. Another note, I would, if you're playing a balanced druid, I would wait to hurricane until the mage novas. Reason being is you will get the maximum benefit for your hurricane. I noticed that druids that hurricane prior to the nova don't get the full hurricane benefit. That's a mistake I see people making a lot. But the goal here is to do this whole dungeon as quickly and efficiently as possible. That being said, don't go crazy with pulling. Don't keep pulling. Look at your group's mana. Look at if they're ready or not. Look at their positioning. Look at, like, before every pull, assess whether or not your group is ready for that pull. It'll save you a lot of time in the long run. That's a mistake that I see people making a lot as well, is they just go full aggro and just keep pulling everything one after the other, and meanwhile the healer has 10% mana, is drinking in the back. You're asking for a wipe. Right now, as far as, you know, class popularity, a lot of people are playing mages. Warlocks, I notice, are becoming a little bit more rare. I'm not sure why, but I would say mages are definitely more popular than warlocks at the moment, at least on my server. But fortunately, I have a couple buddies that run warlock, and they're very, very good at their class. As you can see on the meters here, he is doing around 3k damage. The mage is doing about 1.8. So Seed of Corruption is absolutely huge for this. So think of it like the mage is keeping everything together and the warlock is mowing everything down. The mage is setting up the pins and the warlock is throwing a strike. It's a very group-oriented strategy. Your tank needs to be on point, your mage needs to be on point, your warlock needs to be on point, and your third member needs to be on point. That last spot is interchangeable. I wouldn't do this without a mage lock. I've seen people do this with double mage. It's doable, it's fine, but you're not getting the max benefit from the run just because of the damage that the warlock brings to the table. So yeah, it's very easy. There's a couple common mistakes that people make, but very easily fixable if you know what to look for and if you know what you're doing. One small note, this pack right here, the proper way to pull it is just how I did. So you want to grab all three You know, on Druid, it's pretty easy. You just Moonfire or Fairy Fire, pull everything, go tank form. But you want to run around that corner right next to that little lantern to LOS everything. Right here, we're going behind this pillar, LOSing everything. With pulls like this, and you know, pulls in general for a tank, LOS is your best friend. You really, really, really want to take advantage of LOS. And if you're not playing the tank, let the tank get everything together before you start, you know, bursting, cleaving, starting everything. The exception being if you're a mage. Mage can start Blizzard if everything's reasonably grouped together. Like if there's one mob that's in front of everything else, don't start blizzarding, because you're gonna get aggro on that mob and everything's not grouped together. Your tank's still trying to get everything together, and it's just not beneficial for the group. So timing is very huge for something like this. You really need to be on top of this exact flow of strategy. And once your group gets into a rhythm, once your group feels, you know, comfortable with one another, and you know, you feel really confident about what's going on, then every pull is just going to be absolutely beautiful, and it's going to feel so good when you look at how much reputation you're getting per hour and how quickly you're getting the dungeon done. It's definitely the most efficient way to get these dungeons that, you know, have these big pulls. You know, Shadow Labs is notorious for this room right here, where, you know, there's a million mobs, and on Heroic you see people wiping here non-stop. You definitely want to be popping CC. You definitely want to really just use all the arsenal that you have available. But yeah, thank you everyone for watching. That was my guide on playing goalie, playing a spell cleave comp as a tank. Specifically a tank druid. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe to stay tuned to all future videos that I make. The channel's very fresh. I'm still getting ideas, you know, of what, you know, people want to see, and you know, anything that I can help out with. So if there's some content that you'd like to see made that's, you know, not out there currently on YouTube, or you'd like to see my take specifically, feel free to leave a comment below, and I'll add it to the list of content that I want to make. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.